Alrighty, we went through 1 through 6. Michael Jordan, Kareem, Magic, Russell, Shaquille O'Neal, and Larry Bird. Now we're at number 7. This is in this series of the greatest players to ever play the game. Number 7 is Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan won the MVP twice. He was second place twice. He was third place once. He's a 4-time champion. He's won 1 All-Star MVP and been to the All-Star game 10 times. He has a 25.12 PER. And in this list, his numbers come to 616.03 points. So he was number 7. Number 8, all the way down to number 8. And I think this was the biggest surprise for me. Number 8 is Wilt Chamberlain. All the way at number 8. Using my criteria. Wilt Chamberlain won 4 MVPs, right? He was the Finals MVP once. He was the second place MVP twice, and he was third place once. He won 2 championships. He was the runner-up 3 times. So he won 1 All-Star game MVP, and he played in 13 All-Star games. He had a PER of 26.13. So what hurt him, really nothing really hurt him, is just, winning championships and going going is good. Runner up, you get points, but you get more points for winning championships and being the MVP of those championships. And so he's all the way down to number 8. Now his PER is only 26.13. That's a real high PER. But like I said, in that area they didn't count block shots. So, and he played in one of the weaker areas. So that's where he met, his PR is lower than it probably should be. If they did block shots, his PR would probably be higher than Michael Jordan's. So, but what made him lower is that he only won 2 championships. All these other guys above him won more than 2. Shaq won twice as many, and he been twice as many times. You see. And Duncan won twice as many. Duncan barely beat him out. Wilt Chamberlain has 591.92 points. So, number 9 is Hakeem Olajuwon at number 9 with 483.595 points. And one other thing that hurt players like Russell and Wilt Chamberlain didn't have defensive players of the year at that time, and Hakeem got points for that. Hakeem Olajuwon, 1-time MVP. See, what hurt Hakeem is when it comes to MVP voting, he won the MVP once, and he was second 1 time. So he was never like third. He was only in the top 3, even though that sounds crazy, twice in his career by the voting. So 1 MVP, second place MVP 1 time, but he's a 2-time champion. He won MVP both times. He was a runner-up 1 time. So he went 3 times, won 2 times. He 2-time Defensive Player of the Year award. So he got 10 points for that. And he had 12 All-Star games. He never won an All-Star game MVP. And he played in the best era, so he got the best era quotient at 4.0. And he had a PER of 23.59. He had a much lower PER than like Shaquille O'Neal and Wilt Chamberlain. So that's what hurt him, but he's still a great player. Number 9 of all time, Hakeem Olajuwon. Okay, number 10. At 429.375 is Jerry West. Jerry West, Jerry West only won 1 championship, but he went 8 times. So he's been to 9 championships. He was a final MVP once. He was an All-Star MVP 1 time, and he played in 12 All-Star games, but he was a second place MVP voting for the year 4 times, and third place 1 time. He never won an MVP. His PER was 22.90. So what really helped him is that he went to the finals 9 times. You get 5 points for being a runner-up. You get 10 points for being a champion. So in his era, he played. He got a high error rating too, like 4.8, because he played in that era. So Jerry West is number 10, just beating out. Not just beating out, actually. Number 11, Elgin Baylor. For the same reasons, he basically right after he's right after Jerry West at 383.06 points. Let me see. Elgin Baylor is in 14 All-Star games. He had a 22.70 PER. He won 1 championship. If you count that, I counted that championship because he was on the team at the beginning of the year. He's an 8-time runner-up. He was 3rd place in MVP voting 6 times, and he was 2nd place 1 time. So his PER is 22.70. So he came in at 383.06 points as Elgin Baylor. Number 12, just beating out number 13, was Bob Cousy at 378.35. Bob Cousy won 1 MVP. He was 3rd place 1 time. He went to 13 All-Star games, and he was MVP twice. He's won 6 championships. He was a runner-up 1 time. He had a PER of 19.74. So he ends up with 378.35 points. Just beating out the number 13 guy, Julius Erving, Dr. J, at number 13 at 377.12 points. What really hurt Dr. J is that he played in the ABA. So it's hard to tell, they both professional leagues. I'm considering that between the 2 leagues, it was basically cut in half. The best players were cut in half. So I'm considering each league probably was equal to the other, or close to. I say the ABA probably was a little weaker than the NBA. So I gave him credit for his MVPs in the ABA, but he only got 5 points instead of 10 points. So he won 1 championship. Was a runner-up 3 times. He won 4 ABA MVPs, 1 NBA MVP. He was in 16 All-Star games and the MVP in 2 of them. He was in 2nd place MVP voting once and in 3rd place once. So at 377.12, Dr. J comes in at, y'all just heard me say it, what was it? Number 13. At number 14, just beating out number 15 by the slimmest of margins. So after this year, number 15 will probably move past number 14. But number 14 was Havlicek on the Boston Celtics. Havlicek, Hondo. See, where are you, Havlicek? Where do I have you? I know I did you. Okay, I got you on the small forward. Havlicek was a 7-time NBA champion. He won every time he went to the finals. 7-time NBA champion. He won 13 All-Star games. He was the finals MVP 1 time. And because he got 7 titles, that basically put him over to the next guy and really put him on real high because of that. Because his PER is pretty low considered, next to everybody else is at 20.0. Actually, it only has PR for a couple years, so I just averaged it out at 20.0. So Havlicek just beating out number 15 at 14. Number 15 is Kobe Bryant at 359.16 points. Kobe Bryant is the number 15 best player of all time, but he'll be moving up after this year because he'll probably win a championship or go to a championship. Kobe Bryant is a 1-time MVP. He has 2 third-place finishes. He's won 3 championships. He's been a runner-up twice. He's been in 10 All-Star games, and he has 2 All-Star MVPs. And he got a 4.2 for his player, for his quotient, because he played in the best defensive era and the current era. So he has a real low quotient. So Kobe Bryant at number 15. All right, we got 5 more.